Hey there. I know a lot of parents have these cheap $5 piece of crap toys, but today I'm going to show you how to fix like this robotic kid's toy instead of throwing it out. Hey there, njroute22.com here. We're going to fix this robotic toy that my kids broke. As you can see, this is the remote, and I did a little work ahead of time here so I don't go through the whole mess with you. I already stripped the wire. They came apart here, and I was just going to try and fix the wires. There wasn't enough room to splice the wires, and so I already took the thing apart. And inside here is a simple control panel with two switches, forward and backwards, and this little connector here. So I already stripped the wires, and I was going to decide, what am I going to do? Am I going to do my handy soldering iron and this whole job here? I hate it because I hate soldering two wires together this tiny, and especially if I don't have a set of helping hands. So I wasn't going to do that. I thought about using some wire nuts, but I found these big ones, and then I found these medium ones. I'm not sure where I'm going to put them. These might work still, and the worst case scenario is this old school hack is where you get some heat shrink tubing, and you just twist the wires together, you slide this on, and you melt it together, and that's almost as good as a solder joint if you do it good enough. These might be a little too big for this wire. I don't know. So what I'm going to try and do is I looked before, and I think I can fit these wire nuts under here once they're spliced, and this $5 toy might be repaired. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'll get my soldering iron out of the way, and I'm going to take the red wire first, and I like to twist them together a little bit, give them a little head start. So I'll just twist it like, 2 or 3 times just to get them joined, and then I'll stick the wire nut on and just keep twisting it until it feels tight. That's a good way of doing it, and it typically works pretty darn good. These things are intuitive. See, it's on. That's not quite. Sometimes you can also fold the wire in half to make it a little thicker if your nut is too big for the wire. So this should work perfectly this time, I'm suspecting. So I'm going to stick it in there and twist it and twist it and twist it and twist it. And that should be good enough. That seems good. Do the same thing. I'm going to give it a little extra room here so I can split them apart inside the little... I'm going to fold it in half again like I said before. It could be sloppy. It doesn't really matter because it gets all tangled up or bunched up inside this little nut here, which kind of just basically makes them come together, as the Beatles would say. And that's on good. So these things have been sealed. So what I'm going to try and do, this little thing is genius actually, because it has a little screw here to hold the wire down, so that the kids don't pull it out. So I'm going to give a little extra room here. Oh fuck, I fucked up here. I got to take it apart now. What a drag. I forgot to slide. See, this is what I always do. I never think clearly. I wasn't thinking far enough in advance. This thing has to go on the wire. This prevents the wire from... I hate this shit. So it's important to show mistakes if you don't think things through. So this thing goes on the remote like so. And when you screw the lid together, it prevents it from moving. So we need to get that there. So we'll leave that on the wire. I'm going to do this all over again. The wire nuts here are somewhat forgiving because unless you ruin the wire, which can happen, as long as they're touching each other, and they end up touching each other when you spin it around, and they all become mishmashed together. So this is a lot easier than messing up a solder joint, which is a real pain in the neck. So I'm just redoing that over again. I hate making mistakes. It would have been so much easier if I had done that first. Mush that wire up together pretty good, and then twist this wire nut on. I call them wire nuts. I don't know what you call them. Wire connectors. You can hear it. It gets threaded, and it gets tighter inside. There you go. That's on. So now I'm going to find a good way to prop these suckers in there. I don't want it to block this little switch either. This little switch here is what activates the forward and backwards control for the toy. This little robot. This is the robot, by the way. I think I showed you on the intro. This is the robot. Anyway, I think that'll work. So I'm going to plug the connector back in. You can see which way it goes. It's pretty self-explanatory. There's only one way it goes. There we go. Now I think if I get these down deep enough, it should work pretty good. Now the key though, now, is to slide this little sucker over, this little grommet, I don't know what the hell you want to call it. And you put this, I'm going to give it a little extra room. See, it's a very rickety kind of toy. I'm going to get this out of the way. Give myself a little bit of extra room. Stick that in there. Now you have to give yourself a little bit of room to stick this sucker in. This little sucker here is going to keep the wire from being pulled out. What a pain. I should have brought needle nose pliers with me. Now this is why I hate little things. I like big things. That's what she said. I should have gotten my, what do you call it? Needle nose pliers out. Whatever. I'm going to get this screwed in first and then worry about that grommet at the end. So let's get this little guy in. In fact, I could use this little magnetic screwdriver to help me. So now I'm going to screw this in. It's going to hold the wire down so it doesn't come out. You don't want to screw it too tight or you end up splicing the wire. Now I can bring this guy back. And there can be a little play in there. There you go. See? Now it's all set together, as you can see. Now I'm going to try very carefully to get the rest of it. You have to use your pinkies, every toe, every limb and digit you have to get this to work. Because I don't have really anybody helping me. I'm doing this all by myself. So this could probably get a little stand. I didn't think this through very well. Whatever. If I get this in here, that should be good. Everything looks good on that side. You got to get this piece. So you got to hold everything down at the same time. It sucks. And if you do it backwards, so annoying. I hate fixing things. Hopefully nothing goes wrong here. It should. Okay. Doesn't seem like those little pieces are getting in the way. A little bit on top it seems, but the kid, as long as it's not, it's supposed to go back to the middle here, but I don't know, I guess one thing I could do before I do anything is to test it before I put the screws in. So I'll stick the batteries. They might be old batteries, so I don't know. Let's see if this little robot works. It goes in reverse, as you can see here. Look, it's going in reverse. I forgot, my kids broke it. I totally, see, that's one thing. See, the toy itself is broken, so I don't know. I think I might have wasted my time again. But to me, this thing is fixed. So I'm going to put it back together. That's how you fix a toy. And I got it so that it's not loose in there and it's not going to pull out. And I'm sure the kids will break it in about T-minus like 1 day. But at least it works again. So there you go. That's how I fix things. I go through the different processes. In this case, it was, do I solder? Do I shrink tube, or do I just use these things? And I just wanted to take the easy way out, honestly, because you don't want to spend too much time on something that's so cheap. But I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna fix it on YouTube. That's my new thing now. I tell you how to fix things, and I go through the whole troubleshooting process with you as if I'm doing it by myself, instead of trying to show you the right way to do it. I think it's also very much important to show you the wrong way to do it as well, or the ways that, oh, you know what, this, you put that one in last. And there you go again. I show you I'm not thinking. This is for the battery cover, so the kids don't eat the batteries. And that's it. I like doing things in stream of thought. All my videos on this channel are done stream of thought with very little scripting. I have some topics I go over, and that's it. Things put together. It seems to work to me. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I took the batteries out. Stupid. There you go. Batteries back in. Lid on. Screw in. Magnetic screwdrivers are helpful in many cases. You should get a small set of them for yourself. And I think it works again. Instead of throwing it out, you can entertain your kid for 5 minutes. It's worth its weight in gold. Have a nice week ahead.